Viego jungle, pretty damn strong at the moment. In fact, one of the best in the game. Not only because he's Viego and he's good at everything and everything that you need to do as a jungler in this new meta, but also because they just buff Sundered Sky. So even if you are a Kraken Slayer, Trinity Force Black Cleaver, Kraken Slayer, Trinity Force Blade of the Ruin King, doesn't matter. Sundered Sky now with an extra 150 of that juicy HP. Lost 10 AD, but who cares? Means that the Viego, with the increased baseline passive on Kraken Slayer, is now able to outduel stuff that he could already outduel, but he can do it better, and then also survive, right? The biggest thing about Divine Sandra was, we've got this healing passive, we've got this percentage damage, we've got the HP and the build path, the Sheen combination, it's nice and juicy. So, a lot has changed since then, and, for a long time we've been going Kraken and Trinity Force anyway, but now we can kind of bring the spirit of that concept forward and kind of fuse the Kraken Slayer Divine Sandra build history into one. And always watch your crossover here, if the wave's crashing too much, you don't want to be detected, so sag down. If it's hitting the turret, here it's not, so it's full clear down. We are against a Skarner, and a Skarner is typically pretty damn good in isolation. Like, obviously he's getting a rework for a reason, but the low pick rate, coupled with only the mains playing it, means he's usually pretty good into most things. It's just the champion has very, very obvious shortcomings that can be counted in a macro basis, right? But on a micro, from a jungle perspective, the champ can do stuff. The champ can full clear really, really quickly with Q, and obviously has a lot of chase down and lockdown, which is not very good. But it's good to know, because Viego is going to want to become him. So, we'll do our full clear. Here we have, obviously, the Senna and the Karthus bottom lane. Why not? And against us are the Rakan and the Smolder, who, no matter what he does, basically Garden Chop build every game seems to pop off, because the champ's actually pretty damn easy and pretty damn broken. So I'm not sure why people can't make it work, because again, it's pretty easy and pretty broken. Rakan's obviously super duper strong. We have finished our full clear. Skarner is finishing his full clear. And we've got some vision protection, a shoved out bottom lane that hyper scales. Great ward from the Yone then, moving on down to protect. You absolutely must head over to Vakayu.gg. I have a free jungle improvement resource as well as a dedicated program where we have jungle video courses, jungle coaching VOD libraries, weekly free video content seen nowhere else, as well as Q&As and patch note rundowns, as well as a private jungle Discord. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's making junglers reach their goals, as we saw with the record number of people hitting them at the end of Season 13. If you want to climb faster than anyone you know, jungle diff every game you play, click the link below or head to Vakayu.gg. I don't know if Viego had to do that as well. I think it's pretty obvious at the stage, from the Skarner's point of view, that he should just go back to base after the Grump, but he's not quick enough, right? Like, if you're quick enough to full clear down, and it's like 320, 315, and you know the Viego's gonna come out of here, you got Yone prior, bottom lane prior, just go back to base on the Grump, go back to base. And if this Udyr had hypothetically pushed up, then, Skarner could go ahead and gank that. But Aatrox is prior, he moves on down to ward. And now we're getting a little bit of a collapse here. We do have a 3v2 scenario. Obviously, the Viego here has his smite up. Gets it. We're going to fight the Aatrox. Udyr moves down. We got the stun here. I'm watching the Vlad and the Viego, the Vlad and the Yone, rather. The Viego's forced to flash, and now it's going to run away really quickly. This is an interesting early game. Hold on, let's just see how this fight develops. Udyr goes in. Viego over the back line. Nice heal for the Vladimir. Yeah. This didn't work out so good. But also, you get the whole point about the... Yeah, they think they're going to win. That's cute. So, let's break that sucker down. If you're Skarner, you can full clear. Snack this baby up. If you have the time, go back to base, take this top scuttle. Viego obviously finishes this off, takes this, shadows the guy, takes this one as well, forces a fight. Is it a fight you necessarily want to take? Results based would tell us no. No, we don't want to fight. But in most cases, if you have the numbers advantage, you do. I'm very much more conservative in that sense. I wouldn't cross mid with the Yone vs Vlad to go and fight over that Scuttle Crab, knowing that Aatrox would just come down. I prefer to reset, get into my itemization, protect my tier 2 Grump spawn here, my second Grump spawn, protect my second Wolf spawn, be able to take these, cut up, get 5, and fight over this, right? And that's more where I would personally like to go. Now, the Skarner here, 26 CS, he's going to go back to base, got himself a pickaxe. Obviously, we have Tiamat Skarner technology, Trinity Force technology, a lot of things that this champion can go. He's going to cut up and go ahead straight for this because Rakan's coming out of base. Now, the Viego, it looked like he was kind of anticipating this. Like, hey, I predict the Skarner has to come topside as well. I started topside, he started topside, they'll probably go for the grubs. If Rakan's out of lane, potentially he's roaming, let me just full sequence, like it's fine giving up the grubs. I think that's the logical play here. Especially seeing as you can see your Karthus in center, your Karthus in the bottom lane, pushing up. Like, why force another fight when you don't have numbers advantage? It just doesn't make sense to even do it in the first case. But from that, we can cut down here. Now you can see them recognizing, like, oh no, they're taking the Hextech Dragon. Well, that's a fair trade, right? And we have the benefit here. If the Skarner were to take this and gain topside, free counter jungling, free dives, loop back to this, you're all in control. If the Skarner does continue to sequence down here, you've got your own quadrant to protect, which you can then snack, and then slide in for a lane gank. I always advise diamond and below players to really do that, because if you anticipate that the Skarner might potentially actually finish the grubs, come to the bottom side quadrant, and gank your lane, which is perma shoving, then you want to be there to counter gank it. And if he doesn't show up, you get a free gank. I'm telling you guys this all the time now. You see the pings there from the Skarner. This is a good ward here by the Vlad. We would not have known about that. So in these situations, it's easy to kind of track obvious dips for vision control. Like the Skarner here, I mean, this is... But at a certain point, you can only just make the best decisions for you based upon what you know. You're not going to know everything. They're allowed to make other plays. But he's doing exactly what I suggested here. Hopefully tight to the wall. Wait for that wave to be... I mean, he can slide in here now. I mean, I guess at this particular stage, it's just being a little bit safe. This is good, though. See, now he can, in theory, move into it. But if they don't know if it's warded or not, then it's kind of good to sit back there. But if this bush was warded, then he would have been seen anyways. So it's like, well, if you can slide in, you might as well slide in. But it doesn't really matter. I like the paying attention of the wave, back and forth, moving back and forth. Beautifully done. Skarner's coming down to gank. Obviously, we saw the Skarner go for that Scuttle Crab, which means we know that he's on this side of the map. And instead of turning on the Skarner, we all overchased on the Rakan. I feel like we should have turned on the Skarner a lot sooner. But obviously, it doesn't really matter if Skarner wants to run it down and int. We'll take that. And now we can become the Skarner. Ooh, Senna really trying here. Karthus not yet level 6. Very, very close. That's what I clicked. I wanted to see. Should be close, but not yet close enough. Aww. Aw, man. So damn close. Smolder ults. What is this champion? Like, why is it so strong? Why is this champion so easy and so strong? But Viego says, no, that was my Senna. Oh, there you go. I don't know what is going on sometimes in these games. The Skarner ganks, excellent counter gank. Just turn and kill him, easy stop chasing, right? Freebies. Then push up and then continue on. However, if you think you can chase him down and kill him, I mean, go for it. You got to play with your team. But at the same time, the Smolder goes in to get the kill, knowing he's going to die to the Viego. And as a jungler, sometimes laners will make that trade. The Smolder thinks this is great for him, and he can benefit from this kill, even though he knows he's going to die. Which is true, to a certain degree. But if you're giving a kill to the jungler, right? Like, as a jungler, you've got to accept this kill, say thank you, but you got to use it. You gotta use it. We're gonna have second grubs coming up in a little bit, and this guy's pushing into this. Obviously, another Udyr top lane just straight up inting, as we're used to at this particular stage. If you can gank this, go for it. If you think you can get level 7 first, go for it. I don't know if I necessarily would have done the blue first in this particular case, just because like it's not giving you level 7, but in this case, we wanted the wave to fully crash, have the Aatrox fully commit, and now we can watch the gank off. Dun 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 dun. We're gonna get the flash done there, and yeah, he's dead. Nicely done. We always like Viego ganks, especially because they're quick, right? Whether it's warded or not warded, it doesn't really matter. If you full commit, full send with your E, you should be able to get into there. But it was a great angle of approach. Didn't matter that it was warded. I don't like that he scanned, because there's no point scanning. There's literally no point scanning. Full send commit, you're not going to stop to clear the ward anyway, so why bother scanning? Just full send commit, do your gank, clear afterwards, and then retract. I don't know why this is something... I know why I have to keep talking about it, because it's just human nature at this point, but it's something we got to do as junglers, jungle nature. We got to think more deeply about the fact that we don't need to scan if we're just going to run through the vision anyway. Scan afterwards to clear it. Especially if it's a new ward, because now if it's a new ward, it'd still be giving value. The Skarner thinks, that he's going to be doing his top side. Yes, it's true, Skarner, but he's also going to be sequencing down, because he's not going to sit around and wait for the grubs. He's obviously going to sequence all the way down here to shadow you to some degree and try and then do something about the grubs. Let's see if he even thinks about that. Aatrox is here, Udyr is TP, Yone is going in on the Vlad, Skarner is crossing over in knowledge and saying, I'm going for grubs. If you have the priorities and the power, go and fight it, go and steal it. If you don't, give it up. It's okay to give up 6 grubs. Too often I see people say, oh no, they've got 6 grubs. So, I got a dragon. I'm gonna go gank bottom lane. I have a fed Karthus and Senna. I'm fed. What are the grubs gonna do if they can never hit turrets? That's what you gotta think about as well a little bit. I mean, he's got nothing else to do. His decision was do the rest of his jungle and try and gank bottom lane. Know that you cannot counter jungle anything because Skarner's down here. Or go up and, coin flip over the grubbies. Really not much else you can do. But this wave has been pushing the whole time. I feel like we should commit to this. The Vlad is looking at the Yone. The bottom lane knows something's going on, but it's a really tough invest here. And obviously, while we're watching this patience, the Udyr doesn't seem to recognize what's going on. We saw the Skarner go up. We know he's doing it. And he pushes anyway. He gets drawn into a fight anyway. Skarner's going to hit that E. One more auto attack there should get that stun, which of course we do. And you don't need to waste your ultimate Senna ult. It's a waste of a Senna ult. In the meantime, Viegos is really trying to do something. And I sympathize here because a lot of the time as junglers, I tell you and you know, don't waste time. Don't waffle. Don't sit around doing nothing. But in this particular case, right, as we go to this dragon, came out of base, did a blue, did a gank, did a sequence all the way down, protected our camps. Sure, we have the Krugs. Okay, we probably should have done the Krugs. But there's nothing to counter jungle. There's no objective we can objectively contest. Ha ha ha. We're waiting a long time for this grub to come back up. What's a jungler to do? And honestly, shadowing and looking to make dives and looking to make plays, investing in that time is critical. And usually around 11 minutes you will have that. But as always, I'm not a fan of just waffling and doing nothing, but sometimes that's all you can realistically do while you wait for the objective. That's it. Alternatively, you go fight for the grubs. But if you don't think you can win it, don't do it. Rakan moves to the mid lane. Udyr is now deciding to proxy. This guy's going to be in his bottom side quadrant. We have the vision there, yeah. I was going to say, you don't necessarily know unless you're tracking the CS perfectly. Like, if you see the Skarner, and then he has, an extra, there's a 16 CS. Oh, he did a full sequence down. That's son of a gun. And then he crosses mid lane. He does the grubs. And then he shows top lane with an extra 8 CS. Oh, he did all the grubs. I knew that, but son of a gun because it's 2 per grub. And then he falls back to this. And falls back down to this ward, and you see another plus 12. Oh, he's sequencing back down. So you can keep pressing tab and tracking the CS wherever he shows and keep an idea of what exactly he's doing. But if you don't have vision at all, and he spends a long time on the map, and all his camps respawn, and you've got those timers, you don't always know exactly where he's going to go. And that's where, as a Skarner, even if you're the Viega in that situation, it's cool to kind of reverse your sequencing, just to show where it's unexpected. But Skarner doesn't do that. He shows up here, obviously. So we're just watching the map here. Udyr's just proxying at this particular stage. And the Yone's in base. So again, nothing much we can do. But again, no camps available. So use the lane gank if necessary. Get the bait again. Smolder presses the R. And obviously now we're going to use our E, which does cut the gank off a little too soon, I feel. But maybe it's enough. Rakan's going in anyway. But why would you go in anyway, Rakan? You don't win. Viego's really, really fed. Why would you go in? Oh, that was nice. Rakan, one more tick, one more tick, one more tick. No more ticks, no more red buff. Pain. But we can keep the presence going here. Do you see the damage, though, from the... we can use a W? No. You see the presence there from the Kraken, though? Damage dealt to champions. It always resets on Viego. Curse you, code. Wish it would fix itself there, because... all the time, Viego has some great stats. He gets some resets, and you can never tell anymore what he was doing beforehand, unless you manually track it. But that was nice. The base damage here on the passive is the most important thing, right? Can you guys see that? Every third basic attack does 140 on hit, increased by 50%. Okay, so you guys don't see the second part of it. But the value of that passive, every third attack, now has a higher base level. So it's stronger earlier, but gets much weaker later on with your snowball and your itemization. But it's strong earlier. And also, when you have higher base values on these passives, which they did across a lot of passives in this patch, that's great when you're behind. Because you're not necessarily going to have all the items when you're fed, but when you're behind, you still get a much better damage deal if you can complete your items. So, it's good to kind of value those things. Or at least not necessarily value those things, just kind of look for where you have those pros and cons. Okay, well, they took away the scaling and they made it better flat damage. Okay, what does that mean for me? How can I use this better? When does it spike harder, and when do I change my playstyle to match that? That was just Kraken. So obviously, Noon Quiver, power farming, clearing your camp super quickly. Again, you saw that, right? How quickly the camps were down, how long the camps were down. The guy sequences down, and it felt like it was bottom lane for 10 years. Ooh, a fight. Level 11 Vlad. Maybe not so much a fight, but again, we have to give up the Herald, we have to give up the Grubs, but that's fine. Because we're looking at this, no turret taken, no place at all. What good were the Grubs for the bottom lane? Nothing. They did nothing at all. And what do? We sequenced and got some dragons and got some kills for our bottom lane. So, again, can I contest the objective? No, doesn't matter. Fine. Raptors. Krugs for the good sequencing. Into the red. Watching the bottom lane here, the Yone shows up. Going on the Smolder, the Skarner shows up for the ult to save the Smolder, and now we've got another Dragon coming up. We've got Karthus pushing the mid lane. We clear the Vision out here. Again, a lot of downtime now between sequences. Rakan shows up, but we have the Phage, plus a Dagor, and we can build that Trinity Force into the Sundered Sky. So Sundered Sky is not always the best rush item. We do smite them, but we got 2 charges, by the way. Do you guys really want to fight this? I feel like, I don't think they respect the power of the Viego at this stage with these builds. Like, this is by far his best build path and combination, the Kraken into Trinity Force into Sundered Sky. And the guy's 5-0-0. Strong. There's the ult. Gonna go for the coin flip. Rakan goes in. Jonas is doing the dragon here. Viego's gonna go in there. Gets the ult slow. Doesn't quite get the execute, but that's fine. We kill the Vladimir down. Karthus will ult even though he's dead. And now we can alter reposition onto the Skarner there, get that stun. We have the auto Qs, and we can use our E for passive control. That should be a dead Skarner 100%. Woo! Get poked, baby! And ult of the Wolf to finish off the Dragon. 7-0-0 with Kraken, Phage, and a Dagger. So yeah, Divine Sunder is not always the best rush item on a lot of champions. You know, your Titanic Sundered Sky, or your Eclipse Sundered Sky, or in this case we do 2 items going into a third. It really amps up at that phase of the game, and the fact that people are buying it second, third, and getting like 5,000, 4,000, 6,000, whatever healing, plus the damage. Damage is good too. But also that's why Ingenious Hunter with that is pretty solid as well. But it has to make sense for your champion, right? Like if you look at the Viegos and the junglers, they're always going booties and Cosmic. Play styles and justifications a little bit if you wanted to try something else. Yeah. I'm not going to go into it because people always say, but we have smite more often, and this more often, and that more often, and we get free boots of 300 gold, and we're a little bit faster, and... Depends what you value with your playstyle and what's actually objectively good with your champion and your build path. So, we'll just leave it at that. However, we are now 7-0-0, in pocket is 2.5k. That was definitely the snowballing moment, because... we don't really have that big of a lead, you know, like the Skarner's done a good job with objectives, but he's down a lot of CS. Now we can scan, right? Because if we were thinking, look, is Vlad going to push up again onto the Yone? Maybe I can flank here, get a good fight onto the Vlad. Cool, but play your vision first. See, now it makes sense, because you have no idea what is seen and what isn't seen. But obviously we do need to go back to base, should finish off the Trinity Force. And now we can go into Sundered Sky next. And of course, the idea is to really snowball your cash money infusion, just to ensure that getting that quickly. Man, that ult is loud and obnoxious and really weird. Diego shows up. Let's see what we got here. Poke a little bit onto the Rakan. Use a W just to go into the Rakan. That allows us to ult and kill the Smolder. We can then become the Smolder. Use the Smolder's E to go in here. Use that ult again. Ult attack and a Q to kill whoever the hell that was. Aatrox. Play the Vision. Now we can go hit some turrets. Remember to hit turrets though. I'm a very big supporter of everyone going here to push turrets and killing this turret. I think we should all be doing that. Because now the turret would be dead, is dead. Phew, good. But you guys full on know, like in Master, and this is kind of more like Challenger, Grandmaster, Master mix. You guys full on know that in Diamond and Emerald, that your top laner would just leave. Or your bottom laner would overcommit and die. So you kind of want to stay there with them, hit the turrets, yada yada. In pocket now, 1200. Back to base, as Baron spawns, a little close. We have the Bulldozer. What is this? I lost it. You know what I mean. The weird Bulldozer thing. I keep forgetting the name for that one. I don't know why. When he builds it, I'll tell you. If he ever builds it. Something for Warhammer, though. Do you like the Warhammer? More damage, some ability haste. Pretty solid. Out of base. Now, here's where it's a mid-game, right? So you can go Krugs, Raptors, join mid lane. But if you think a fight is more imminent, don't go to the Krugs. Go to the Raptors, cut in for the Scuttle Crab, shadow this mid lane scenario, push into the jungle. Don't waste time farming, yeah? Do not waste time farming your Krugs and your Raptors when all of this good shit is happening. Shadow, probe, have a look. You got the sword to probe. Fall back to the Scuttle Crab. Again, a little bit of shadowing. We're strong. We don't mind. This is fine. Like, this is a good invest. I would prefer to get a little deeper, though. But the problem is, once you lose vision line, see, this is a vision line, right? Once you lose this vision line, the Yone's push beyond the vision line, and their whole team could be goon squatting through here, which, I mean, you don't want to be involved in, so that's why we fall back. Now, obviously, we're going to cross over here, because, again, same thing with the Udyr. We have a 1-3-1, but both our split pushes are beyond vision line. So we need to wait a little bit before we can full-on commit to stuff. Now that we see Skarner on the top lane, Rakan going top lane, Aatrox there, we have another one down here. Now we can full commit to this push and rotation. Waiting for our bottom lane to join us. Patience, 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 please. If you are in this situation as Viego, a lot of patience is required. Yeah, I think we can bait a Baron. Like, in these situations, it's good to bait a Baron. You got the numbers. Got a little bit of vision here. I don't mind trying to look for a pick or trying to bait out a Baron here. Because they're playing well. Like, they're sitting back and they're not getting caught out. So the last thing you want to do is really compromise the whole game by being impatient. Oh, the Smolder makes a... that'll be a flash ult. Smolder makes a big mistake, man. Oh. This is what I'm talking about. Why does he stay? Okay, look. Yeah, there might be on the Baron, so we use that. Okay, we see that. Why does he auto path this direction? Like, no one's around him. It's just such stupid pathing. They were doing such a good job. Guess it doesn't matter. Now they can do Baron, like the ADCs as always. Yone TPs to protect. We'll just make sure we finish that up, get the smite. All-seeing Baron there, which means it has the magic river of damage. Always be aware of that. Ghana does get the dragon. Yona's like, who said you could have that? Udyr also TPs over. Aatrox, sorry, not Aatrox. Viego is rotated to show up. Methodical though. This is good though, because sometimes we have a lot of FFs and we have a lot of people giving up. Now we've got Sundered Sky. So 0 healing at the stage. We'll have to try and track it a little bit. But yeah, we struggle to see these games actually play out because the enemy team for some reason think, look, we got a Vlad, we got a Smolder, we can win. And blue team has to say, well, listen, actually, we're just as good late as you. If not better. Subjective. I mean, I think they're better. I'd take a Karthus Senna over a Smolder and an Aatrox, but now the Vlad's kind of strong, obviously. But still, Senna Karthus, that's a tough one to beat if they're getting free willing. The 0-8 Karthus, but, you know, it's fine. 10-0-1 Viego. Look at, did you see the presence here? I am fed. I am puffing out my chest as Viego. I am protecting my laners. You know, he's not farming and chilling and getting econ like you would in low elo. He's sitting here shadowing this shit, ready to go if they engage. And because of that, no one can go in on the enemy team. The Skarner cannot go in. No one can tank. There's Aatrox like, can we just flank and do something? Which of course he does, forces a flash, and they finally just decide to full on Sam because they know that Udyr's on top lane, Yona's on bottom lane. And Viego is just running back to protect the Senna, looking for a nice angle of approach. This guy's not... Do you see the W from the Viego? That W was huge because it kept him within the AoE of the Karthus, who then got that kill. Smolder presses the ult button. We're going to ult and reposition, get another W stun into a auto attack Q animation. And then we're going to ult again onto the Smolder in the back line here and now become the Smolder. Use RE to reposition. Beautifully done. That's why Viego is easy to play in theory, but just having that fluid... You see, like, one thing to the next, one thing to the next, seeing where your ult can reposition you. Beautifully done. And the healing here is 0. Well... I said we keep track, but I'm not going to go back and pause in each instance. Broken item. I just don't know why they felt the need to give up so much HP. You know, and they also give the Titanic Hydra 50 HP as well, right? That's 200 free HP in those combinations. Absolutely massive. And now here you see, I like how he skirts at the back though. He's definitely tankier with this itemization, but he still skirts at the back because he knows he has all the damage. He just waits for these moments where he can get resets and ult him properly and pick up his passive and heal properly. There we go. I'm trying to see. Auto attack someone. One auto attack, please. That's not even his. I'm not always a fan of this, but I like how he's guiding his team out. Like, I honestly would have ditched at this point and just said, okay, if you guys want to die, die. Yeah. Still though, they don't end. So we go back to clearing the jungle, pushing the waves, and now we go back to base. Next one we can go is for the Wit's End. I think that's obviously brilliant because they have magic damage, and Wit's End is a good item. And obviously Tenacity is back on that one. Rakan shows up. Knockups don't count. Remember that with Aatrox and Rakan, knockups don't count to that tenacity. But obviously any other slows or stuns and so on will have that benefit. Mostly really just for the on-hit and the magic resist at this point. Well, 177 healing in that one instance, and it wasn't enough. So a little bit of a Skarner moment. We kind of went too close to the wall. Mispositioned the first time all game, and Skarner said, yes, finally, thank you. Which is the problem with Skarner, you have to wait for that. But just because I don't necessarily think much is going to happen. They get a dragon, Sol Point is coming up. We're back here. Healing is now at 177 still, obviously. They bunch up so much going for that Viego. Yone, beautiful ult in the back line, and Viego can just come from the side. So beautiful ult from the Yone, exquisitely done. The Skarner is trying to kill a Viego on the back line. He will just get this healing passive proc, and the Vladimir should die as well. There we go. Huge, though. Hugely interesting team fight. I talk a lot about this in the course. We have a lot of team fight breakdowns. Because right there, they knew the Viego's the juice. Get Viego out. So they bunched up, pushed the Viego out. The Skarner took care of business as well. But because they did that, they thought, oh, Viego's out of the picture. Let's 4-man onto the... probably should go back because I won here. Let's 4-man back onto the other team. Let's just get the positioning. Here, Udyr TP's in and just CC immunes out. Viego follows, and they recognize, oh, Viego's in this water bush. Let's quickly push him out, which they do. And as soon as they recognize that there's no Viego, it's actually 3 people here, not 4. They were just like, let's take our own goon squad and turn to the left here, right? Mulder ults. The problem is they're all grouped up. Skarner gets 2 tunnel visioned onto the Viego, whereas the Rakan's like going straight in here. Immediately, Karthus is dead, but it's Karthus, right? And the Yone, it's a beautiful 3-man in the back line, which will set up a perfect combination with the Udyr as well as the Viego, who goes in. But the Skarner now tries to keep the Viego out of the picture, pulls him away, but it doesn't matter, it's too late. Great synergy. This is what we talk about with teamfight synergy, but the red team got a little bit too greedy to killing the Viego, and as such, cost them the game, which is why being fed as a jungle is the best thing, because you draw all the focus, and when you've got a Yone and a Karthus and a Senna, they get left alone. So, really, really good game, showing you the power spikes at various levels, and also how to be a very patient, intelligent jungler. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you all in the next one.